What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to give my review of Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. I feel like you have to say Zack Snyder in the beginning of every movie now that he makes. But, I watched this movie kind of spontaneously on Sunday. I didn't plan necessarily to do it that day. I tweeted it, and I asked you guys if you wanted a review for it, or actually you guys said, I'll make a video of it when you watch it. I wasn't even planning on doing this, but I watched it, felt like, oh, look, my face, right? We've done this a couple times now, and I felt like for a movie review like this, it would make a lot of sense to do my face. So, if you guys are new here, make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. I don't always show my face, so if you hate my face, if you match the nasally voice with my face and you don't like that, there won't always be my face. But subscribe, bell icon, leave a like, and then all of my other social media stuff is in the description below. We just started Patreon and channel memberships. If you guys are interested in that, extra ways of supporting the channel, Twitter, Discord, second channel, all that stuff is in the description below. Okay, it's very difficult to talk about this movie, so I do want to have kind of a spoiler-free and then a spoiler section of it, but to keep it spoiler-free is actually quite difficult because a lot of the stuff that I think makes the most impact, whether it's good or bad, is from spoilers. So I'll try to kind of gloss over it. But what I will say, okay, I reviewed Godzilla vs. Kong. And I don't want to go back into that because that actually lost me a lot of subscribers. And I'm not afraid of losing subscribers, but that lost me a lot of them because I did not like that movie. And the primary reason, I bring it up for a good reason, the primary reason I did not like Godzilla vs. Kong is, while it is just like dumb fun, that's like the whole point of it, it does take itself seriously. So if the movie didn't take itself seriously, you judge it, I would say, differently. But it does. It takes itself, I would say, very seriously from start to finish. And it's just it's one of the stupidest movies I've ever seen in my life. Okay, Jurassic World 2 is another one of the stupidest movies I've ever seen in my life. This movie is very, very stupid. I think no matter if you loved it or hated it, and this is again spoiler free, whether you loved it or hated it, I don't think you can. I think you have to say that there's stupid elements throughout the entire thing. The entire premise is brain dead. There's characters that just make the worst. This almost like so cliched that you think they were doing it on purpose, but they're not. And that's the thing. Like, I want to say I love the movie because I think if you turned your brain off and you really didn't care about a lot of the stupid decisions and just the dumb stuff in general that's going on, I think there's a lot to love. I think actually all of the characters are pretty darn good. Like, I would say average at worst, and then it just goes up from there. I'd say they all do good. The action is really, really good. I think there's honestly some cool dynamics. Like, I know a lot of people were bagging on the heaviness of this movie. I didn't go in thinking, okay, I'm ready for like a brain dead experience, like to just turn my brain off. I mean, I know Zack Snyder's like literally everywhere in this movie, right? So I was expecting, okay, I guess not even want, but I'm expecting, like, give me Justice League mixed with Batman versus Superman mixed with a zombie movie, like just, do whatever. And they gave that. They had some very serious moments and they had some very just like off the wall stuff, right? But the issue with this film, again, is that it takes itself very seriously. Now, not in the first, sorry, I have a cold, that's why I'm doing that. I still have a cold, it's like a week now. In the very beginning of the movie, the first 15 minutes, they take it, they don't take it at all. You know what I mean? Things just happen, they set stuff up, and to be flat out honest with you, I am more than okay to dismiss all of that stuff. I really am, if that was the way the movie was gonna go. Do you know what I mean? And then when the movie gets going and they kind of enter, the quarantine zone of Las Vegas and all that stuff, characters just continue to do stupid things, and like, there were scenes or situations where I was like, well, why would you do that? And I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but when you keep going and you keep adding on that, it does hurt the movie. But I'll be flat out honest, and then we'll jump to the kind of the spoiler filled, because there's only so much you can say, honestly, without going too far into it. I will say, without lying or anything, which I don't do that anyway, but when I was watching this movie, I enjoyed it. I would argue from start to finish, there were times where I kind of like went on my phone, like I kind of got broken from the movie itself. But I would say from start to finish, I enjoyed the movie. I laughed. I think not all the humor hits at all. There's many times the humor doesn't hit, but there were some pretty funny scenes. So like I was laughing. There were some pretty like, oh my God, moments. There were some really nice action. Some of this, like the cinema. Now, Zack Snyder, the way he filmed it a little bit was kind of odd, but like the choreograph, right? A lot of the fighting. I'm into martial arts. I did martial arts for a very, very long time, so I love that kind of stuff. There's some really good stuff in this movie. So like, I think there was enough of it in different spots, and not necessarily likable characters, but just like interesting enough characters that like kept me going throughout the entire movie. But again, there's a lot of stupid in this movie. So I would say like I enjoyed it for what it was, but that's kind of hard to say because it does take itself very seriously. And so did I enjoy it because it was serious? Not really. Because if you look at it from a serious lens, there's like a trillion problems, and you start going into kind of all the stuff that I was mad about for Godzilla vs. Kong. Like, oh, why did this happen? This is literally idiotic. Why did you... Like, it goes into that. And I'm going to go into there, by the way, in the spoiler section, because I think it's fair. I think you have to do that, because this movie is not a brain dead, turn off your brain and just watch like a popcorn flick. It's not that. It pretends to be it at some times, but in reality, the whole movie, it's not that. Okay, so I would say, look, I used my father-in-law's Netflix account. I don't pay for Netflix. I don't really want Netflix in general, so I watched it on Netflix. It cost me nothing. Okay, it cost me $0, and I had an experience with it. And I would say it was worth it for me, but like if you're going to rent, if you're gonna, I don't know, buy Netflix for a month, right? I don't know, that's up to you. I don't even know how much Netflix is, to be honest. Is it $10, $11, however much it is. So you'd have to justify that to yourself. But, and that's kind of where I'll leave you. I don't do scores. I don't do number scores. That's kind of where I'll leave you on the spoiler free. Jumping into the spoiler, ready? 3, 2, 1, we're in. It's just, okay. I mean, there was a lot of things. Specifically, the ending really starts to stand out as I see more people talking about it. So I watched the pitch meeting for this, which didn't help. Because I would say I really liked this film, and then I started to think about it, or like I was thinking about it while I was watching it, and I was kind of dismissing it. I was kind of like, yeah, but I'm having fun. But then like I watched the pitch meeting, and it was like, ooh, good points. Then I watched Angry Joe's review, and I was like, shoot, good points, because he noticed things that I also noticed, and they were kind of focusing on it heavy. I guess one of the biggest things that stand out is the daughter. She gets forced into this movie, literally forced. She didn't need to be in it whatsoever, but they decide, now obviously they didn't decide, this is just what they did, but like the movie basically feels like it decided at last second, like, oh, we need to include her. So like, she's a volunteer. She sees people, I'm sure, die all the time, or she sees people being separated. Like, she deals with this stuff. And, like, not even, because I've seen some people say, like, it's not even just that this family lost their mother, and she's like, oh my God, this mother in particular is so important to me that I have to do. But, like, it happens seconds before they go in. So, like, it could have happened the day before, it could have happened, I don't even know, like 2 months ago, whenever. But it happens right then and there, where she's just walking around, she's just on her day shift, and she's like, oh, I have a purpose now. I have a purpose to go in there now, as if I needed one, right? And it's like, oh my God. So right then you knew, and I don't think she was like a bad actress at all. It's just she was easily the most annoying character in that she made bad decision after bad decision, but a lot of characters made bad decisions. That Chambers, who was a really good character, she was that martial arts girl who was the first one to die. She was phenomenal, but she knew, and whatever his name's John in Fear of the Walking Dead, but like that guy, the guy who was like the traitor, she knew he was bad. She flung out of the window, which, by the way, the movie makes it, because I think they say like she's already dead, and I was like, well, did she get bit? Because it doesn't look like she got bit. So like, if you want to give the movie the benefit of the doubt, maybe somebody saw that she was bit, so she was, in trouble already, and there's just no point in getting her. But like, and I saw Angry Joe point this out, all this stuff. She flew through the window. They're all there in the hallway, 10 feet away from her. They could easily run up, grab her, and go, and be able to create enough distance with them, from them and the zombies. So like, why they didn't do that? Literally, there was no reason why they didn't do that. And then, it's not even like she doesn't talk, like she's so busy defending herself she can't talk. She literally tells him, like, go, no, like, no, I want you to run. Like, she says full sentences to that guy. She couldn't have said, hey, he's a traitor, he locked me in. Like, just say something. And it's not even like they weren't suspicious of him already, because they were just talking about leaving him for dead like 20 minutes ago. So like that was very dumb. That was the first, to me, kind of signal that there was like an issue. But like the ending, again, like the daughter's the only one who lives, the worst character, the one who makes the worst decisions, and somehow manages to get the mother, because the mother's important. But then they don't even show the mother in the plane crash at the end. They don't even do that. So did she even make it? Was it even necessary to do that part? Because if you didn't have to get the mother, you know Dave Bautista's character would have made it. The pilot would have made it. Maybe the girl who kind of leads them through the entire thing, maybe she makes it. The daughter definitely makes it, right? So like, you save a couple extra people just by not going to get the mother. Just for that simple last step that you didn't need, you could have saved a couple extra people. So that's something I want her specifically to think about. But like, there's that too. The zombie overlord guy, he makes it from that tower down on his horse to that Olympus place where Dave Bautista went with the helicopter, and the girl went, his daughter went, to save that mother. How did he do it so fast when the helicopter would easily beat him? So again, you have things like that, which I don't think are in like that specific thing. I'll be honest, I didn't even think about that. So like, when he shows up in the hallway at the very, very end, I was like, oh, well, obviously that's going to happen. It's a movie. That stuff happens. But then you think about it and you're like, well, you didn't need to do it like that. You could have put the buildings closer. You could have given them more time. You could have set it up differently versus how they got there versus how he got there, right? There's different ways of doing it, and they just didn't do it. So there's a lot of those issues. Even the very, very ending, that guy, who I did like the guy, and the vault cracker, oh my God, those two are a phenomenal pair, right? But even like that guy, like, he knows he's bit. I know he's maybe not the most morally perfect person, but like, they're going to a New Mexico. They're going to a new place. He will literally start like a new movie. And also he knows, like, I guess he foreshadowed it, right? Because he's like, what if we're just like doomed to repeat the same thing over? Maybe that's a subtle, weird hint that like he's going to, do it to somebody else or to somewhere else. But like, I don't know, even if you have a shred of moral decency, you kill yourself right there. You jump out the plane, you do something to end it, because you're gonna literally cause so much stuff. You'd have to be very bad to not do that. And it didn't really seem like that kind of character in the first place. So there was a lot of those moments throughout the movie. But again, there was a lot of good. I mean, I liked a lot of the characters. It was their decision making that was bad, but I liked it. I didn't even mind some of the more emotional things. I know a lot of people had problems with the emotional things. I didn't really, I knew to expect it. Because it's Zack Snyder. Like, he's going to put that kind of stuff into movies that it doesn't really belong in. And I guess that's the argument you can make, like, against me. Like, oh, well, why did it have to be there in the first place? It didn't, but because it was always going to anyway, I kind of just accepted it. The action, very good. The zombie hierarchy, right? How they are all put together, like their king and queen and all this stuff. And like sacrifices and whatnot. Very cool. There's a lot, I would say, to like about it. And like I said, the biggest thing that still sticks out is like, yeah, like, now the more you think about it, don't think about it, because the more you think about it, the worse it gets. But I would still say, like, going through that entire movie, like, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely was like, oh, like, that was a big moment. Or, the action was really, or again, like the kind of martial arts stuff. There was a lot to like. There was also a lot not to like. But in the moment, I kind of dismissed it. I gave it the benefit of the doubt. But, for a review purpose, if you have to pitch this to somebody else, if you have to say, is this worth somebody's time? Obviously, you're going to look at it a little bit more critically than you otherwise would, right? Me, myself, just watching it on my couch, watching it on Netflix for free. I didn't pay anything for it, right? I'm not going to have the highest standards for it, okay? I will say that there are plenty of issues. So, depends on what kind of person you are. I think if you're a Zack Snyder fan and a zombie fan, or even and/or, I do think there's enough to like about it where you won't like outright hate yourself that you wasted time. Even though it's a very long movie, I don't think you'll hate yourself that you wasted the time for it. But if you're not one of those fans, I don't know if, I don't think this movie's going to work. I think, like, flat out. I do like the universe. I want to see what's, obviously they're going to do a lot more with the universe for better or worse. But I'm excited for it. I really am. I think there's a solid foundation. Even though there's a lot of stupid, even involved in how the zombie outbreak started, it's still a cool foundation to kind of start on. So that's my review. Let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you think? Did you watch it? You know, are you kind of just fully against it? Let me know. Again, all of my social media stuff is in the description if you guys want to check it out. We also have Patreon and YouTube members. They're the exact same thing. It's just 2 different places that you could support us. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.